that I may know how to sustain the weary with the word. Morning by morning he wakens my ear to listen to those who are taught. The Lord God has opened my ear, and I was not rebellious. I did not turn backward. I gave my back to those who struck me, and my cheeks to those who pulled the beard. I did not hide my face from insult and spitting. The Lord God helps me. Therefore I have not been disgraced. Therefore I have set my face like flint, and know that I shall not be put to shame. He who vindicates me is near, who will contend with me. Let us stand up together. Who are my adversaries? Let them confront me. It is the Lord God who helps me, who will declare me guilty. Here ends the reading. The second reading is Philippians chapter 2, verses 5 through 11. Let the same mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus, who though he was in the form of God, did not regard equality with God as something to be exploited, but emptied himself, taking the form of a slave, being born in human likeness, and being found in a human form. He humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even on a cross. Therefore God also highly exalted him and gave him the name that is above every name, so that the name of Jesus every knee should bend in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue should confess that Jesus is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Here ends the reading.
Our gospel today is taken from Mark chapter 15, verses 1 through 47, to be found on page 46 in the New Testament in your pew Bible. This passion story in Mark's gospel presents Jesus as the one who dies abandoned by all. He shows himself to be the true Son of God by giving his life for those who have forsaken him. The Holy Gospel according to Mark, the 15th chapter. As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered him, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you?" But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Now, he used to release a prisoner for them among whom they asked. Now a man called Barabbas was in prison with the rebels who had committed murder during the insurrection. So the crowd came and began to ask Pilate to do for them according to his custom. Then he answered them, "Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy that the chief priest had handed him over. But the chief priest stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Pilate spoke to them again. "Then what do you wish me to do with this man you call the king of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him!" Pilate asked them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him!" So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Then the soldiers led him out to the courtyard of the palace, that is, the governor's headquarters. And they called together the whole cohort, and they clothed him in a purple cloak. And after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on him. And they began saluting him. "Hail, King of the Jews!" They struck his head with a reed, spat upon him, and knelt down in homage to him. After mocking him, they stripped him of his purple cloak and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. They compelled a passerby who was coming in from the country to carry his cross. It was Simon the Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus. Then they brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. And they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him and divided his clothes among them, casting lots to decide what each should take. It was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. The inscription of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." And with him they crucified 2 bandits, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, shaking their heads and saying, "Ah, you who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross." In the same way, the chief priests, along with the scribes, were also mocking him among themselves, saying, "He saved others. He cannot save himself. Let the Messiah, the King of Israel, come down from the cross now, so that we may see and believe." Those who were crucified him were also with him also onto him. When it was noon, darkness came over the whole land till 3 in the afternoon. At 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, "Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, "Listen, he is calling for Elijah." And someone ran, filled a sponge with sour wine, and put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink, saying, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come and take him down." Then Jesus cried out and breathed his last. And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. Now when the centurion who stood facing him saw that in this way he breathed his last, he said, "Truly, this man was God's Son." There were also women looking on from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James the younger, and Joseph and Salome. These used to follow him. They used to follow him and cried for him when he was in Galilee. And there were many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem. When evening had come, and since it was the day of preparation, that is, the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, a respected member of the council, who was also himself waiting expectantly for the kingdom of God, went boldly to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate wondered if he were already dead, and summoning the centurion, he asked him whether he had been dead for some time. When he had learned from the centurion that he was dead, he granted the body to Joseph. Then Joseph brought a linen cloth, taking the body down, wrapped it in the linen cloth, and laid it in a tomb that had been hewn out of a rock. Then he rolled a stone against the door of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, saw where the body was laid. the gospel of our Lord.
But I know that words will hardly do. Miracles and signs and wonders aren't enough for me to prove to you. Don't you know I've always loved you? Even before there was time. Though you turn away, I'll tell you still. Don't you know I've always loved you? And I always will. Greater love has not a man than the one who gives his life to prove. That he would do anything, and that's what I'm gonna do for you. Don't you know I always loved you? Even before there was time. And though you turn away, I'll tell you still. Don't you know I've always loved you? Don't you know I've always loved you? Even before there was time. And though you turn away, I'll tell you still. Don't you know I've always loved you? And I always will.
If the children would like to come forward. Good morning. Did you hear that very first story before I even came in? How Jesus came into the town, people were howling out, Hosanna! You hear that? I mean, they're throwing down those branches of palm leaves and stuff like that. Did you hear that? They were excited. They even throwing down their cloaks on the road for him. They were excited about him coming in. You ever been part of that, where some people get excited and you just get excited too, and you all join in, and oh, everyone's excited, right? We've all been part of something like that. You ever see that turn a different way? Today heads into town, and people are excited, and next thing you know, they're hollering out, crucified. They're hollering out to have him killed. They went from being excited about him coming in town, and a few people turned them around, and they went after Jesus. You ever been part of a group where you just go after somebody? I have. You think on it maybe, didn't really want to, but you just got into it. Yeah. It's kind of what happened to Jesus. He knew it wasn't right. We know it's not right. They knew it wasn't right. But they did it anyhow. But God can be there with you and stand up for what is right. Because you wouldn't want to be picked on, right? And you wouldn't. How about you guys? No. None of us want to be. So when the times are tough, when you need help standing up for what is right, who can be there to give you the courage? God can. Yeah. Just pray to God for that courage to stand up for what is right. Even if you're the only one, you need to stand up for what is right. And God will give you the strength and courage to do that. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that in a little bit. But let's pray right now, okay? Gracious God, we ask that you be with us always. Give us the courage to speak what is right. Give us the courage to stand up to those who are wronging others. Give us the courage and strength to do what you call us to do. And sometimes as your disciples, it is unpopular. But give us the strength to do it anyhow. We ask all of this through your Son, who is our strength, who gave himself for us, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thanks, guys. Why don't you head on back to your seats? Yeah, I'm not still feeling real well, so normally I would stand, but I suppose I could have stayed sitting there. Done that before. We heard Jesus come in, Hosanna in the highest. Then our next gospel is crucified. What a turnaround. What a turnaround. Why would we have both of those on the same Sunday? Yeah, I thought about that and looked at that, and I don't often agree with what the Revised Common Lectionary sometimes puts out. But I think they knew something that we don't want to admit to. That it doesn't fit our narrative that we want, the comfortable thing of having Hosanna in the highest on Palm Sunday. And then we skip the painful part of Monday, Thursday, Good Friday. And we just come in on the following Sunday and he's risen. Because there's a lot of people that don't come to Monday, Thursday, Good Friday. So it doesn't fit to the narrative that we want, that Jesus actually had to suffer and die, and that people turned upon him. So we have both of them for today. You heard me ask the kids, you ever been part of something like that? People getting excited. How about turning on people? I've been part of that. It's really easy to get caught up into that. But that's not who we're called to be. We're called to be disciples of Christ. You might ask, why did Jesus have to die? Well, it was people involved. That's the simple thing. People were involved. But did Jesus really have to die? People knew who he was when he came into town. They seem to have forgotten just a few days later who he was, or conveniently forgot. But here's the thing, he still didn't have to die, but God is in charge and God used that. God uses what people do even when they do the wrong things for our benefit. Jesus' death ended up being used for our benefit. Our sins are forgiven through his death. We have new life through his resurrection. It's not to say that there couldn't have been another way, but this is the way that people chose to react. Can you imagine if they were acting as disciples and how it could have been? Can you imagine how this world would be if we were all acting as disciples? Instead of God having to take the crud that we lay out and make something of it. No matter what we do, God is in charge and will do something good with it. As hard as it may seem at times, God is there in charge. No matter what. When we pick on each other here, or at school, or at work, we turn upon one another, we do no good. We saw the effects of that. Imagine being disciples and seeing the effects of that. Bad things happen in the world, but God is in charge. I have a friend of mine who received a kidney. And things aren't going well for him. He has lupus, and his kidneys failed. And he received his kidney. He has an ex-wife who constantly has physically abused him and mentally abused him. And now his magnesium levels have dropped so far that they're telling him when they drop below 1, he's going to die. His level is at 1.1. And he wants to know why this is happening to him. Why? Why does he have to suffer? I wish I had a quick, good, easy answer. There isn't one. There is pain and suffering in the world. We're broken. The world is broken. But God is in charge, and God will work with that no matter what. How? I don't know. But good will come out of there some way, somehow, for God's plans. Jesus' death was flipped about for us. It's not what Jesus wanted. Remember him in Gethsemane? I don't want this, but if you say so, I'll do it. I'll do it. We are called to be disciples and to treat one another as such. We've lost something over the years. We've lost, out of our schools, we've lost the Ten Commandments. We've lost in God we trust. We've lost prayer. We've lost an awful lot. And it has changed us. It has changed this country. It has changed us individually. And it's time that we stand up and do what's right. It's not going to be easy. But it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start with us so that we can go back to what God is calling us to be, which is disciples, taking care of the least, the last, and the lost, reaching out, doing mission and ministry for the entire world. In this service, you hear a song, "If Not Us, Then Who?" If I got the title right, but you hear some words like that. If not us, then who? Now another song says, go out and do something. Those of you who have taken the spiritual gifts course, remember that Christianity is not a spectator sport. We have to get out on the field and go do something. And be the hands and feet. This could be a better world than it is. It can be better for everyone. And because of Jesus' death, we have the burdens of our sins removed. We have the freedom to respond to everyone in the one commandment that Jesus gave us. I've said it enough, and I hope that you all remember it. So let's say it together. Love one another as I first. Imagine a world loving one another as God first loved us. Starts at home. Starts here. Goes into our schools. No more of these Twitter fights, Facebook fights, news fights. Enough of this. One another. No more fighting. I know that sounds idealistic, but it is possible. Ideal stuff starts somewhere. What a good place to start with. Jesus' words. So when you leave today, and I hope to see you on Monday, Thursday, come back for the story again, a Good Friday. Make it part of your story. Not whitewashed, but make it part of your story, because it is who we are. And then, see you all on Sunday. We can celebrate. We can celebrate that our sins are forgiven and we have that new life so we can go out and be disciples. Loving one another as He first loved us.